Keep watching cutting-edge research at Kenyatta University Television.
Right, good evening and many thanks for joining us. This is the 27th of February, the year 2024. Indeed, the day that we have much and more lined up for you in the state of the nation. And of course, we'll be keeping track and tab of what is happening across the various, disciplines, or rather the sectors of the economy, politics, and everything in between. And of course, that the discussion that we'll be having tonight, the state of the nation. And of course, I'll be introducing my guest later on. But first thing first, our reporters have been up and running to bring you up to speed the latest in the world of politics, business, and sports. And this is what to expect in the next 60 minutes or so.
Tonight, there is room for everyone. Ruto calls on leaders to refrain from unnecessary competition, insisting that there is space for everyone in his administration. Here is your contribution. Kenyans to pay a minimum contribution of 300 shillings to new social health insurance fund. Also tonight, the burden of corruption. Kindiki says rampant corruption is striking the heart and soul of the nation. Plus, from Haiti to Kenya, Haiti Prime Minister is expected in the country after Haiti deployment hiatus.
This is KUTV Primetime News with Evans Auma.
Right, Sheila Kinyaga will be assisting us on the Sign Language Interpretation Department tonight. Remember, you can be part and parcel of this broadcast. You can talk to us on all of our social media platforms. Remember, you're live on YouTube at KUTV News Live. You can tweet me at Auma Evans. Remember to use the hashtag State of the Nation. And State of the Nation begins tonight, where we take you to Auma County, where President William Ruto has urged Kenyans to keep engaging in farming to lower the cost of living. Ruto, who was speaking during the second Auma County International Investment Conference, echoed that every Kenyan has the responsibility of boosting Kenyan's economy, furthering and assuring that there is space for everyone in the government. Sylvia Nyango kicks us off tonight with that report.
Homa Bay County, under the leadership of Governor Gladys Wanga, is among the counties in the country that have donated land to be used in the construction of industrial parks and the affordable housing units. President William Ruto has today launched the Riwa Special Economic Zone in the county, meant to attract more investors in the county. Cabinet Secretary for Tourism and Heritage Dr. Alfred Mutua, who also attended the Homa Bay Investment Conference, acknowledged the need to develop blue economy by developing the tourism sector. The head of state outlined that every Kenyan has a responsibility of contributing to the growth of the economy, further emphasizing the need to reduce food importation and embracing farming to lower the cost of living. However, President Ruto urged leaders to avoid competition and instead focus on service delivery. These sentiments came at a time when President Ruto is involved in campaigns to popularize opposition leader Raila Odinga among African presidents, including President of Uganda Yoweri Museveni, for him to secure the African Union chairmanship position come 2025. Anyango Sylvia, KUTV.
Now let's switch gears to matters health. Kenyans above the age of 25 years will have to, or rather will be required to contribute at least 300 shillings toward the new Social Health Insurance Fund. This is according to Health Cabinet Secretary Susan Nakhumicha, who says parents' contribution will cover for those below the required age. Yvonne Kamuma tells us more.
All Kenyans above the age of 25 years, including the unemployed youths, will now be required to contribute a compulsory 300 shillings towards the Social Health Insurance Fund SHIF. This is according to Health CS Susan Nakhumicha, who says that SHIF contributions made by the parents will only cover for children and youth below 25 years.
The ministry already had a strategic plan from 2020 to 2030. The ministry already had adjusted its policies towards achieving universal health coverage. So the changes that we bring now, most of them technically, we have been working towards achieving them.
This comes as Kenyans are expected to start contributing towards the scheme starting July this year, even as registration for all members under the new scheme is expected to begin in March. Additionally, all employed Kenyans will be required to contribute 2.7% of their gross income.
The health of all country has lied in the hands of the few employed Kenyans. They are the ones who have been contributing. What we present today is a divergent from that then there is a contribution from all Kenyans. And that is the principle that we are basing on to call this a social health insurance.
The new Social Health Insurance Scheme established under the Social Health Insurance Act 2023 is expected to replace the current NHIF scheme and scrape off the maximum contribution requirements of 1,700 shillings for all employees. This situation will expose high-earning employees to higher deductions. All NHIF members will also be required to re-register with the SHIF scheme as members in order to access benefits. Under the new insurance plan, all persons resident in Kenya shall access healthcare services under the Public Health Insurance Fund (PHIF) and must be registered as a member of SHIF. Yvonne Kemuma, KUTV.
Thank you, Yvonne Kemuma, for that. Now, Cabinet Secretary for Interior and National Administration, Professor Kithure Kindiki, said that corruption is rampant in civil service, striking the heart and soul of the nation. Kindiki called on all collaboration and consultation among all state organs if the war on graft is to be won, as Odhiambo Sylvia now reports.
Cabinet Secretary for Interior and National Administration Kithure Kindiki is up on a mission to fight insecurities in the country. Kindiki held a meeting with the National Council of Administration of Justice (NCAJ), chaired by Chief Justice Martha Koome today, where he underscored that corruption poses a threat to the sustainability and long-term viability of Kenya as a modern, prosperous democracy.
On matters corruption, which is at the heart of our constitutional order, if there is one item that frustrates the realization of this constitution is corruption. Clearly an unconstitutional conduct, and it strikes at the heart of the ideals of the people of Kenya as expressed in the current constitution. it is anti-people, and it is an existential threat to the sustainability of Kenya as a modern democracy.
According to Kindiki, corruption strikes at the heart of the nation's soul and diverts critical resources essential for the realization of the Kenyan dream.
The judiciary is accountable to the people. All agencies established under the Constitution are accountable to the people. That accountability is individual. But looking at the structure of our Constitution, that accountability is also collective. It is collective in the sense that while we owe individual institutional accountability to the people, we are collectively bound to work together to deliver that accountability if the Constitution is to be realized.
Further, he explained that corrupt practices degrade efficiency in the delivery of public sector services to the people. He advised that success in the fight against corruption requires the coordination, collaboration, and consultation among all state organs and arms of the government.
But even at the national level of government, there has been institutional confrontations, sometimes bordering on competition. I would want to suggest that unless we look for ways of working together, no single arm, no single organ can deliver. And I can say that without fear of contradiction.
This meeting comes a few days after an alleged altercation between the national government and the judiciary, following the decisions given by the court to halt a number of government projects, including the housing levy, which was claimed not to be handled appropriately. Odhiambo Vivian, KUTV.
Haiti Prime Minister Ariel Henry is expected to visit the country to explore the way forward regarding the deployment of troops to Haiti after Kenyan High Court barred the deployment of police to the Caribbean nation struggling with the gang violence. And as KUTV's political affairs reporter Theo Masharia now explains, the visit comes at a time when Haitians have appealed to President William Ruto to hasten the deployment to stop the gangs from wreaking havoc.
In a move to finalize the modalities for the deployment of police officers under the multinational security support mission, Haiti's Prime Minister Ariel Henry is set to visit the country to iron out issues barring the deployment of 1,000 police officers to help restore peace in his country. During the visit, Kenya and Haiti are expected to find a way to circumvent the High Court's ruling that barred the National Police Service from sending its officers abroad, arguing that the government lacked authority to send police officers outside Kenya, and the agreement lacked a reciprocal arrangement prescribed by sections of the Police Service Act. Haitians locals are in support of the visit as they claim that delayed deployment has worsened insecurity, with a UN report indicating that Haitian gangs killed 8,400 people last year, an increase of 122% from 2022. Kenya and Haiti have received support from the United States government, and Benin offering to contribute 2,000 troops to the UN-approved Kenyan-led multinational security force that deployed to fight gangs violence in Haiti. President William Ruto has confirmed that Kenya will send the police officers after completing paperwork to satisfy the country's demands. Theo Masharia for KUTV.
And a man and his nephew have been arraigned for the murder of his mother, sister, and a house help in Kiambu County. The two are said to have strangled the mother before the housemaid got clobbered to death. Elsewhere, in Embu County, the International Justice Mission has embarked on a mission to foster police and community engagement in a bid to encourage peace and unity. Much and more on tonight's County Roundup with Gracious Aganda.
In Embu County, Benson Njoroge and his nephew Peter Ndungu have been arraigned in Thika High Court for the charges of murder against his mother, sister, and domestic worker 2 months ago. It is reported that the mother died of strangulation while the other victims were clobbered to death. The suspect pled not guilty while the court denied them bail.
Peter Ngugi Wanjiku and Benson Njoroge Ngugi on the 6th December 2023 at Madhaki Village, Maguguni Sub-Location, Kilimambogo Location, Thika East Sub-County within Kiambu County, jointly with not others before court, you murdered Joyce Wainamu Mwangi. Peter Ngugi Wanjiku, is it true or not true?
It is not true.
Benson Njoroge Ngugi, is it true or not true?
It is not true.
In Embu County, the International Justice Mission IGM has embarked on an industrious journey to foster engagements between the police and residents. According to Embu North DCC Walter Ngaira, the engagements have borne fruit, leading to the win in the fight against illicit brews and other crimes.
Tangu wakati wa wale ndugu wawili wa Kianjokoma, mimi nilikuwa kwa mstari wa kwanza. Kutoka wakati huo, hii eneo inaonekana uhusiano baina ya maafisa wa polisi na wanavijiji kwa sawa kabisa. Manake
ningependa kushukuru IJM kwa ile partnership ambao tuko nao, kuona kwamba wanatusaidia katika kuleta ile uhusiano mzuri. Kwa sasa naweza kusema kwamba uhusiano umekuwa mzuri na tunazidi kuona matunda.
Elsewhere in Narok County, Kareta Secondary School has been awarded by the parents at the Ministry of Education for the good results the school recorded in the last national examinations. The parents joined in the construction of 4 classrooms, while the Ministry of Education constructed 12 latrines.
Elimu ni kila kitu. Na kwa leo, ile zawadi mzazi anaweza kumpea mtoto wake ni elimu. Na ndio maana ninafurahi nikiona wazazi wa Kareta. Nimeona dom mzima. 4 classes. Nimeona 4 classrooms ambayo imejengwa na wazazi wa hii shule ya Kareta. Nataka kuambia pongezi.
Students have been urged to keep up the good performance and change their families' fortunes. Gracia Saganda, KUTV.
Right. That story by Gracia Saganda takes us to our first break here on the State of the Nation. Remember, when we come back, plenty more to follow, including our State of the Nation discussion, where we take a look at matters, politics, economy, and everything in between. And remember, my guest will be joining me in the discussion will be Anthony Buluma. This is a public policy analyst and of course CEO Kenya Young Parliamentarian Association, and Professor Fred Ogola, economy and governance expert. So that discussion will be coming to you in just a while, but first thing first, let's take this short break.
They are powerful and influential. They make decisions in politics, education, finance, agriculture, health, sports, and all aspects of human life. But the impact of their decisions falls on you, the common citizen. KUTV Primetime News Thursday, we ask bold questions and pursue answers to the core to bring you closer to the story. We couldn't have it any other way. Join me, Auma, as I raise matters of social concern to raise your voice from the background to the foreground. Every Thursday and Saturday at 9 p.m. only on KUTV.
Ni kaunti maarufu kwa kuzalisha maziwa na ukuzaji wa majani chai. Pia, serikali ya kaunti inawahimiza wakulima kukumbatia mitindo mingine ya kilimo kuzidisha mapato.
Kama kuna kikundi moja inafanya biashara ya kuuza kuku, hao pia tumewafadhili kuwafunza jinsi ya kuhandle zile kuku, kwa sababu wanaleta kwa wingi.
Haya yote tunakuletea katika Boresha Kilimo, toleo la kaunti ya Bomet.
Kilimo ni nguzo kubwa kwa ujenzi wa taifa.
Are you an aspiring media practitioner, a graduate, or you just want to advance your skills in television production? Then welcome to Kenyatta University, where education meets innovation. KUTV, the premier university television station in Kenya, is now offering short courses in TV studio, field technical operations, and video editing. Through these courses, you will acquire hands-on skills on camera operations, media production, lighting techniques, audio-visual editing, and sound and visual control, and how to operate key equipment in modern TV control room. Enroll today at KUTV and discover your full potential in cutting-edge TV broadcasting. Graduates of these courses will receive professional certificates. For more information, visit our offices at KUTV Studios or call us on 020-870-4252 or 020-870-4255 or SMS us on 0739-110-544. KUTV, a new experience.
Access to knowledge, solution to unanswered questions.
Guidelines to pursuing your rights and repossessing your property, intellectual or material.
This and more only on Law Matters.
So my name is Kutv. I'm associate professor in the Institute of Philosophy of Jagiellonian University in Krakow, Poland, and I'm the main coordinator of the Cafe project, which is being here hosted by Kenyatta University.
My name is Ewa Hudoba. I am a project manager in this consortium. Keep watching cutting-edge research at Kenyatta University Television.
Maelfu na maelfu ya wahamiaji wakiwa na watoto kutoka nchi za Amerika ya Kati wanaendelea kuwasili kwenye mpaka kati ya Marekani na Mexico.
But folks, I'm going. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Ni habari kutoka pembe zote duniani.
Pepo pasi vuguvugu. Pepo pa ni idea.
Sazidi ananyonya, hanyonyi vizuri, anakuwa hayuko comfortable.
Jeshi la Jamhuri ya Kidemokrasia ya Kongo linapambana na waasi wa ADF.
Kwa sasa wanatoa wito kwa mashirika, makampuni na vile vituo vya uchukuzi.
Mambo mengi yatakwenda kama yalivyopangwa.
Hapa ni kuna mmoja wa viongozi wa chama cha wavuvi katika eneo hili.
Zaidi tunajaribu kuwapa chanjo ili ina boost ama inanyanyua kinga ya mwili. Hiyo inaenda kupelekea kupambana na virusi.
Ni Duniani Leo, Jumatatu mpaka Ijumaa, moja kwa moja kutoka VOA Swahili, Washington DC.
Are you an aspiring media practitioner, a graduate, or you just want to advance your skills in television production? Then welcome to Kenyatta University, where education meets innovation. KUTV, the premier university television station in Kenya, is now offering short courses in TV studio, field technical operations, and video editing. Through these courses, you will acquire hands-on skills on camera operations, media production, lighting techniques, audio-visual editing, and sound and visual control, and how to operate key equipment in modern TV control room. Enroll today at KUTV and discover your full potential in cutting-edge TV broadcasting. Graduates of these courses will receive professional certificates. For more information, visit our offices at KUTV Studios or call us on 020-870-4252 or 020-870-4255 or SMS us on 0739-110-544. KUTV, a new experience.
Law
Lola is an app that gives you a chance to watch videos, listen to audios, and read articles wherever you are for free. Motivational stories, dramas, campus life, technology, lifestyle, adventure, sports, academics, jobs, entertainment, and more. Download Lola now on Play Store. All you need, you got Lola.
They are powerful and influential. They make decisions in politics, education, finance, agriculture, health, sports, and all aspects of human life. But the impact of their decisions falls on you, the common citizen. KUTV Primetime News Thursday. We ask bold questions and pursue answers to the core to bring you closer to the story. We couldn't have it any other way. Join me, Auma, as I raise matters of social concern to raise your voice from the background to the foreground. Every Thursday and Saturday at 9 p.m. only on KUTV.
Hi, my name is Stella Tioi.
Jina langu naitwa Okemwa Mukwa James.
This is Mandela Gaya.
Ugonjwa ulipokuja ulichukua siku 3 ukaniweka in coma. 20 wamezikwa, 2 ndio wako hai.
I don't even know how it feels to see.
I feel like I cannot express myself well the way somebody who can walk can actually express themselves.
Ilichukua muda mwingi mrefu tena mpana ili kuikubali kwamba mimi siwezi tembea tena.
I've come to actually accept myself.
Ukijaribu kumsimamisha mtu umwambie tafadhali nionyeshe njia.
They find it quite strange talking to you.
You should just make schools integrated.
Inclusive setups.
By providing the right facilities.
Technology, science, innovation, ICT and research. These are the ingredients upon which the solutions to the 21st century problems are founded. In a world that is rapidly changing, it's all hands on deck to ensure a balance in all fields of life. Women, young and old, are also in the front line, breaking the glass ceiling, becoming thought leaders in the larger tech space. Not forgetting other societies marginalized. And when the tech Avengers come together, we inch closer to a much safer, efficient, and sustainable world. What we view as a norm in today's advanced world was just an idea, and for nostalgic reasons, we trace back to the iconic days to bring you the retro tech. On Tech Innovation Show, we encapsulate all the pillars of the 4th Industrial Revolution, decoded in a language, all for one for all. Every Monday at 8:30 as we push the mantra, keep learning something new each and every day. Only on KUTV, a new experience.
What are some of the ways through which you can develop these skills so that you are comfortably fitting into the job?
You have to put yourself in positions where you are uncomfortable. Uncomfortable in the sense that you are not clear about what to do.
Because I used to work a corporate job before. So when I left, I happened to visit someone's farm around this area.
So this project is called Security Breach Detector and Readiness Familiarize. It is meant to be used to detect, detonate explosive.
We'll tackle all the tough issues, discuss all the weird moments, and hopefully share a few laughs along the way.
Yangu ndiye Yesu Bwana, wote waingie kwake. Lango, 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 hili lango li wazi. I am right here for your sake.
Now, today we are going to talk about the beginning of a fall. But not just a fall, it is a fall never to recover. If you spend your time sleeping, na tumesema while you are drunk, your senses are sleeping. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. How are you doing today? I'm well in the Lord. I hope you are well in the Lord. First of all, I'd like to thank our Father in heaven. They say broken things can't be fixed, right? But that's a lie. Genesis chapter 3 verses 8. That evening they heard the Lord God walking in the garden, and they hid from him among the trees. But the Lord God called to the man, "Where are you?" For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whomever believes in him should not perish but have everlasting life. Catch me right here only on KUTV every single Sunday.
You are watching KUTV Primetime News with Auma Evans.
Right, welcome back, and now this is the state of the nation, and the conversation begins right now. So we are tracking matters, economy, politics, and everything in between. And of course, to help us unpack this discussion is my guest here, that is Anthony Buluma. This is the CEO of the Young Parliamentarian Association. Then we'll be joined via Zoom by Professor Fred Ogola, and of course this discussion, we invite you to be part and parcel of this discussion. You can talk to us on all of our social media platforms. We'd like to hear your thoughts and comments regarding the state of the nation and tracking every conversation that will be happening. Remember, you can tweet us on X. Remember, the hashtag to use is State of the Nation. You can tag me along at Auma Events. And of course, we are live on YouTube at KUTV News Kenya. That is live. And of course, you can talk to us, send in your views and comment, and be sure to sample all your feedback at the tail end of our broadcast. And of course, let me once again introduce my guest and join them very quickly to usher them into this discussion. Anthony Buluma, that is public policy analyst and CEO, Young Parliamentarian Association. Thank you so much for making time.
Thank you for inviting me.
All right. And of course, Professor Fred Ogola, who is joining us via Zoom, that is economic and governance expert. Prof, thank you so much for making time.
Thank you very much for having me in this session.
All right. And Prof, I'll begin with you. And of course, we want to take a look at the recent happening that has been happening across the country and across the globe. I'm talking about the ODM party leader, that is Raila Odinga's African Union Commission chairmanship bid, and we have seen him officially kick off his campaign. We have seen him with the heads of state, and during the burial of the president of Namibia, he was seen with the Democratic Republic of Congo president, then South Africa president, now the current president of Namibia. Just a few examples just to mention as far as this bid is concerned. And of course, in line with this, recently we saw him in Uganda with Uganda President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, and with, of course, President William Ruto, all together, of course, tracking to see if they can actually marshal the number, and of course, make sure that Raila Odinga gets the support that he needs to actually clinch this ticket. So I want to borrow your thoughts on this, a very quick one. So what do you think of Odinga's bid, and do you fancy his chances?
Yeah, first of all, I think that for me, this is a God-sent opportunity for Kenya. I'm looking at how some people are trying to look at it, whether he will fail or not. But for me, I'm looking at it from a fantastic opportunity for Kenya to stamp its authority, not just in East Africa, not just in Africa, but globally. Remember, Raila Odinga will be attending even some of the UN Security Council meetings in case he gets to chair that council. we also have to remember that Kenya's image and reputation will be built. Maybe William Ruto's dream of having a borderless Africa could be championed under the chairmanship of Raila Odinga as the chair of the AU Council. Remember, currently, the heads of states chair is now officially William Ruto. I've heard also people saying that the fact that he is chair, it might not be considered that you cannot give the president of Kenya to be chairing that heads of state, let's say, confederation, and at the same time, we're having Raila Odinga chair of the AU Council. But I don't think they're related, because the immediate chairperson for the position that William Ruto currently holds in AU is Paul Kagame, yet the vice chair for the AU Council comes from Rwanda. So I'm seeing that it is a fantastic opportunity. If there's any Kenyan needs to pray for him and wish him well. I also want to urge all those people who are putting poisonous, or if you like, negative comments on social media and the rest. I'm sure we should be proud of our own. Let us not look at small politics we win here or there, because we might be trying to win some domestic politics, but we lose this in the if you like, in the national space. And I think that for me, I really believe that Raila Odinga, looking at any other person whom so far has their name, there's nobody who has that credibility like the one he has. Remember, he has got very good relationship with the current presidents of Africa, even former presidents of Africa, and also many other people who are actually having interest in government. So I believe that it will be very, very difficult to beat Raila Odinga candidate. And look at, he has not even applied, but he has proposed to apply, and now he's lobbying for this position.
Right.
So I believe he has one of the best chances, and actually almost myself looking forward to his leadership in the African Union. And remember, he has history about Africa, he understands African history, he understands history of nearly every nation. This is an elephant memory that is needed for this kind of position.
All right, fair enough, Prof, and thank you for that. Now, Anthony, when you look at now the campaign team for Mr. Odinga, these are diplomat and seasoned diplomat, we can call them. Elkanah Odembo, we have Ambassador, that is Mahmoud Maalim, then Professor Makau Mutua from Odinga's side, then there is Musalia Mudavadi, we have Peter Muthoki, this is the East Africa, of course, Community Secretary General. That is the team that President William Ruto has fronted to help Odinga actually marshal support that he needs. When you look at Odinga's bid, and of course, even as we talk about the chances, if you really fancy his chances of actually clinching this particular, particular seat. And of course, I want you to, talk to us about, the support from the mother country. I'm talking the relationship between Odinga and President William Ruto. Remember, prior to this UA bid, many people will not have thought that probably this, some sort of, support will be actually be possible. So talk to me about the support of a head of state as far as this particular seat is concerned.
Thank you. I just want to join Kenyans and many Africans who are endorsing the candidature of former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. And I join this as an Afro-optimist who really believes that African Union plays a very integral part in the agenda of unifying African countries, the agenda of pushing for a consolidated African position in the global arena. The office of the chairperson of the African Union is equivalent to none, because in some quarters people are even describing it almost as the president of Africa. So it requires an individual who is not only a Pan-Africanist, but has a proper historical account of the journey of Africa, and journey of Africa including the various shades of the different African states and our struggle for independence. Remember, African Union was birthed during the struggles for most African countries to gain independence, and the pioneers of this vision included the late Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana. And their foresight was a unifying body where African countries can churn out their potential and be able to push an agenda. So when we are discussing the candidature of Raila Amolo Odinga, you have to look at it from that kind of a perspective, because this is a continental picture. You have to look at it beyond just the interest of Kenya and start imagining what is in need for Africa. Remember, this is coming at a time where African Union has also been criticized for underperforming, for being a layback organization when it comes to injustices meted against Africa. And then when you mix all that, then you question the credibility of the individuals contesting for that seat. It is based on that background that I personally, as an Afro-optimist, endorse the candidature of Raila, beyond him being a Kenyan. So that's the first context. Secondly, he becomes the Kenyan candidate because he will give us the national pride. Because having a Kenyan take a central role at that level is really key, even for our own growth as a country. Because remember, even when we come to the African Union table, we come with vested interest. There is the whole thing called state interest. So government of Kenya has to look at what is in it for Kenya in the event that Raila Odinga clinches the position of the chairmanship. It is on those foundation, very solid foundation, and viability of the individual that I strongly believe the government of Kenya can actually take a bet with him. Because again, remember, it can be a shame for us as a country not to have been able to lobby successfully for somebody of the caliber of Raila Odinga to succeed in this kind of a quest. So I concur that the team behind this are seasoned individuals in their own right. Some of them are already occupying very critical roles within the diplomatic spaces. You know, Musalia Mudavadi is the Foreign Affairs Minister in Kenya. And beyond that, he also has a significant political position that can be able to afford him audience with the heads of state as Prime Minister of the Republic of Kenya. You're talking about the likes of Ambassador Mahmoud. You're talking about the likes of the chair, the Secretary General, EAC. These are influential diplomats who understand the interests and the power game that is within the African space. And that only goes to show the level of seriousness and commitment that President William Ruto is giving this. He is taking it personal, probably out of friendship with Raila Odinga. But over and beyond that also, the whole notion of the possibility of the first time a Kenyan and East African clinching the position of African Union. Remember, this position has never come to East Africa. It has gone to Central Africa, it has gone to Southern and the other parts of Africa. But as East Africans, we've never taken pride, despite the influential position we have as a regional bloc, East African bloc. So I think considering all those factors, there is no way the government of Kenya would not even put their resources to ensure that the candidature of Raila Odinga is not only taken seriously, but afforded the win that it deserves. Building on that, you need to also understand Raila himself is also networked. You could see the body language between him and other heads of state when he was in Namibia. You could see him meeting up with President Museveni and Ruto just yesterday. You can actually see, even at the body language level, he's able to maneuver his way around with most of his leaders. And that just goes to show the qualities that he's manifesting and are needed for this kind of a role. Because remember, you will be persuading heads of state to agree. To agree on the cake called Africa, you know, and share in this cake. It takes a lot of political wit. It takes a lot of political ingenuity. It takes a lot of experience. So for you to be able to navigate through these very hard terrains of balancing the power game within the region.
All right. Let me take Prof account on the team that has been fronted to actually help Mr. Odinga. And of course, there is a common and this is a very obvious name, the name of Professor Makau Mtua. Of course, we have seen him during the 2022 presidential campaign. He was the chief campaigner for Mr. Odinga. And of course, these are just among the names when you look at the likes of Elkanah Odembo, Kenya ambassador to US, the former Kenya ambassador to US, France, and Vatican. Very, 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 if you ask me, I'll say these are very seasoned, diplomat. So, Prof, do you think this team has what it takes to actually deliver the votes that Mr. Odinga is actually seeking?
Well, I think that the candidature of Raila Odinga is more important than even that team that we are talking about. I'm sure they might just be more or less logistically arranging meetings. Are they capable of making a call to arrange for a meeting? Yes, they are capable. But more or less, it's more of the Raila Odinga image that we have that will be more helpful. At the same time, the support that Raila Odinga is going to receive. For example, if you look at Raila Odinga just alone, he might be able to get 12 to 20 heads of state backing directly. Now, William Ruto can actually be able to give him another 10. Then if you add to now the good news that Uhuru Kenyatta has also come in saying that he backs his candidature, Uhuru Kenyatta is very respected in Africa, but also beyond. Remember, this won't just be lobbying African countries, because remember, African countries also are influenced from outside Africa. For example, there are some foreign countries that have influence in some African countries. For example, Belgium influences DRC, Congo, Kenya here, we have UK, we have US. Every country in Africa has got some of their foreign masters influencing them. So it will also go beyond Africa and how they can be able to stamp the authority. So according to me, it's more of those key allies. Remember, Obasanjo has been seen as a continental bully, if you like he's got very soft power in the continent. So Obasanjo being there, Museveni is among the longest serving heads of state in Africa. So all that has come to work. And also that picture that was done in Kisozi has given Raila Odinga so many votes. When you see Raila Odinga holding that stick, which is similar to the stick of Museveni, similar to the stick of William Ruto, him walking side by side without any security that is separating him and William Ruto, already it means that he has started dancing the music. And when you start dancing the music with William Ruto, who is the current president, I guess there are so many people who see something in Raila Odinga. And for me, one thing I see in Raila Odinga that is very critical, very few leaders has it. Raila Odinga is capable to forgive. He's able to forgive and wipe out his both physical and psychological scars and start looking for how he can unite. I'm sure now Raila Odinga and William Ruto were bitter rivals. Remember, even Raila Odinga and Uhuru were bitter rivals. Can you imagine these people coming to campaign for him? Even there's a time when Raila Odinga and Museveni were bitter rivals. So I'm believing of more that stack of Raila Odinga will have more say in getting this seat more than the team. But nevertheless, the team are important to give advice, at the same time to be able to book the right appointments and send the right message that is needed to the diplomatic circles that can be able to give him this seat.
Okay. And now I want us to switch gears to rather some very important, topic and discussion in regard to, state of the nation. And I'm talking about, the state of corruption in the country. Auditor General report actually, reveals some damning statistics about the government spending in various, state organs. And of course, flagging out like even, a tune of 10 billion money that was, or rather fund that was withdrawn without being audited. These are just some of the key areas, and even the watchdog report reveals 5.7 billion that were paid to ghost workers, talk less of 500 and 466 million that the Teacher Service Commission actually paid for either retired or even dead teachers. When you look at, this, I'll call wastage and actually looting, what does it say
budgeted corruption.
About
corruption?
Budgeted corruption, if you like. So what does it say about, our society? Because this is something that has been happening for quite a period of time. And when you look at, for example, let's say institution like Teacher Service Commission, 466 million paid to ghost teachers, some that are even maybe dead or even retired. Well, what is happening?
I think that's the tragedy in this country. Corruption is our greatest undoing. Corruption is the monster that we must all be, declare war against. Corruption is what has deprived us the privileges we should be enjoying as Kenyans. Because I think Kenyans are resilient people. Kenyans are hardworking. They ni watu wa kujituma. And they go out of their way to support whatever government policies are brought to them. But the challenge of corruption has never been adequately addressed, even within the current regime. And I say this having in mind the fact that the 2010 Constitution was actually supposed to be the remedy in the fight against corruption. Because when it was enacted, part of what came with the 2010 Constitution was the idea of trying to strengthen independent institutions so that they are able to act on their own volition and fight against corruption. But it's unfortunate that to date, most of these institutions are still lamenting like we don't even have a new dispensation. You know, like the EACC, every day you talk about them, they will either blame budgets, low budget cuts, I don't know. They will always have a blame.
Okay.
But you see, they forget that the country is losing. The country is bleeding through corruption. Look at all those loopholes.
All right.
By the time these loopholes are being revealed by the media or even the Auditor General, is it entirely the mandate of the Auditor General exclusively? Because you know, Article, I think it's 229, clearly defines the role of the Auditor General. The Auditor General is just supposed to report and say, this was the authorized expenditure, this is how it ought to have been used, and from our reflections, we cannot quite see where certain amounts of money are lost.
Okay.
So the rest of the other bodies are supposed to actually manifest their might. You know, like the EACC should not be taking this casually.
Okay.
You know, because I don't think the best way to fight corruption will just be lamenting around it and apportioning blame. We must go the extra mile and now demand for these individuals or these offices created by the Constitution. You can imagine an independent DPP, an independent Inspector General of Police, an independent EACC. You know, these are independent commissions who are supposed to operate. I think so far the people who are actually doing proper job is the Auditor General, because they keep calling out. They have been giving this country proper insights in terms of the state of affairs on our expenditures. And remember, we're coming from a point where we're complaining about excessive public debt. How do we handle that? You know, when we mismanage even the resources we are borrowing, when there's pilferage, what is it called? You know, like leakages in terms of the expenditures, because we ought to actually be proper in terms of our expenditures, so that we are able to actually live within our means. Remember, part of the recommendations, even from the Auditor General, is for us to begin to manage our debt. And from their report, part of what they were pointing out is that if we are not able to seal some of these loopholes, then we risk not even sustaining the kind of debts we have. Because if you lose, say that even 400 million, what are you saying? Would that money have helped us solve part of the Eurobonds that we are dealing with?
Indeed.
It comes in the time when government had to actually look for an extra Eurobond for us to offset the one that is due this June. So all these challenges.
All right.
Yeah.
Let me get a count of Prof. Well, Prof, 10 billion unedited, and of course 5.7 of course paid to ghost workers. Talk less of 466 million that TSC actually paid for dead or even retired teachers. When you look at all this and put into account, well, the wastage, the looting, and of course with an economy that is really struggling, so what are we reading into all this, and what are we not doing right as a country?
I think that Kenyans are slowly accepting that corruption has become a culture in this country. And that is what is worrying me most, because everyone talks about corruption, everyone talks against corruption, but no one seems to really be against corruption in actual sense, especially those in position. For us, like activists, like Linda Jami, when we mention them, we are being told that we are only complaining because we have never been given a chance to eat. But I don't think that's the case. I can tell you that corruption has become systemic. And it has become systemic whereby each and every regime that comes in is looking for how to steal money in the guise that they are trying to make money for the election. Can you imagine that this election thing? I don't even see whether there's a need for all that money being made. But let's put this into context. Corruption has become like whether you just complain, it is very hot with no intention to do anything about it.
Okay.
No one put the effort. We have very many so-called independent institutions. We have added a lot of the wage bill, and Auditor General's report every now and then points out at all the mistakes going on, and no one is taking action against them. Everyone claims they have no prosecutorial powers to prosecute anybody in corruption. What is the problem going on? Let me just single out even the issue of the tree planting. Because we are supposed to plant 15 billion trees. And money was allocated to this. We are supposed to do a forest cover of 30% forest cover in Kenya. Like this year, we allocated 14.3 billion shillings to plant trees. Now, Auditor General report points out that over 140 million shillings cannot be accounted for. And in fact, nobody has bought trees. Do you know anywhere where farmers, or for example, those who are doing nursery beds, seedlings that for planting trees, have made money by government buying trees from them? It is all scam. And the problem with now the current administration is that the corruption is right from the top. It falls like force of gravity. In fact, if I would be head of state today, you just simply call all the ministers, all PSS, and tell them, I do not want anybody to make for me money for election. I will deliver my manifesto to Kenyans, and Kenyans elect me based on manifesto. But when a government does not offer services, does not deliver their manifesto, then they must be able to make money to buy people because they didn't deliver. So I'm asking any government that is concerned about winning the election, just deliver your mandate, and if you deliver your mandate, Kenyans will elect you back without buying them. But
Thank you.
Thank
you, Prof. Because we are running out of time, so I will give you each at least 1 minute for your closing remark, and we'll begin with you, Anthony.
Thank you for having me. I think they say the best wars are won in the mind. I think the best way to fight corruption is before the ballot, because that's where it begins. It begins with you taking a bribe from your leader. It ends with the leader having to return his money. So the bottom line is we must really change the culture in our politics so as to allow us to really vote objectively. We have good laws. Let's put in some life to these good laws. Then we will see the change that we desire in this country. Because we are fond of apportioning responsibility to other quarters. We forget that the real change begins with me. You know, you as Evans, what is it that you're doing to fight corruption? By enlightening the voters from your area, not to vote on the account of how much they are given, but to vote people on the basis of the content of their character.
Good.
Thank you.
Fair point. Prof, kindly 1 minute, your closing remark.
Mine is simply to urge Kenyans that the only way we can be able to fight corruption is that we must actually hate corruption from our heart and from our soul. Let us be a nation that respects God and fears God. So long as there is no fear of God, and that we can be able to elect people who have no track record of fighting corruption, we will go nowhere. And last but not least, I would like to ask the institutions that are charged with the responsibilities of fighting corruption that you cannot be collecting salaries, yet you continue complaining us that you are toothless. If you are toothless, resign and go home so that somebody else can take that office.
Thank you. All right, so that was Professor Fred Ogola, economy and governance expert, and of course Anthony Buluma, public policy analyst and CEO Kenya Young Parliamentarian Association. Of course, thank you so much, gentlemen, for making time. It has been quite, a very engaging discussion based on the state of the nation. And of course, we want to, would have really liked to continue with this, particular discussion, but time is not on our side, so we leave it at this point. Right, it's now time for sporty action. So after posting a stellar performance in just concluded triathlon championship, focus now shifts to Africa Games set for March in Accra, Ghana. The two-day event saw Jesse Okal crowned the super sprint champion in the Africa Triathlon Championship as Mohamed Baga won bronze in the males junior category, while Keiza Iman and Nadia Ndimbo finished in 5th and 7th respectively in the junior women's category. The Kenya squad is now set to take part in the Africa All Games and the Africa Triathlon Cup slated for March and April respectively. Now, English football governing body has reduced Everton's 10 points deduction to 6 after Merseyside successfully appealed for a reduction on November 2023, which the sanction was imposed. Everton was deducted 10 points after they were found guilty of breach of the English Premier League's profit and sustainability rules. Following a 4-point lift, Everton sits 15th on the Premier League table, above Brentford on goal difference. It's a wrap from us from this side, and many thanks for the men and women who made this production a success, and for you, our esteemed viewers, for always keeping us a company in the last 60 minutes or so. My name is Auma Evans. Sheila Kinyaga has been our sign language interpreter tonight. Until next time, it's a bye-bye and do have a lovely night. Good night.